How strong is Godzilla in hell?
Godzilla in hell. A prehistoric monster born millions of years ago awakens to a brand new age and rules over the entire earth as a god. But when the earth rejects it, there's only one place to go, and this was the greatest mistake. What do you think happens when you trap God in hell? The earth's surface opens up and Godzilla falls further and further into the earth, reaching the core and even further beyond. With the distance from Earth's surface to its core being 6,300 kilometers and Godzilla weighing 25,000 metric tons, he would be falling to the core at 12,000 kilometers an hour, which would be supersonic speed. And when he hits the bottom, he would be a living nuclear bomb, hitting the floor at the energy of 126 trillion joules, which is equivalent to 30 tons of TNT, exploding all at once.
Wow.
Shaking.
So how did the earth not blow up? If he hit the core or he hit the bottom of the core at that speed, how didn't the whole earth just blow up? That nigga big as hell. Second of all, Godzilla is already strong. You telling me that Godzilla in hell is stronger than regular Godzilla?
Exploding all at once, shaking the entire earth. But this monster isn't on Earth anymore. Landing on the floor, Godzilla knows that this isn't his domain anymore. A god should be in heaven, but this god belongs in hell. Godzilla looks up and sees a boulder that reads, "Abandon all hope, ye who enter here." But who needs hope when you have strength like this?
Okay.
Destroying the pillar, Godzilla makes his way through hell and finds out that if anyone, alive or dead, can defeat him, being dropped in a realm that is stated to be infinite in size and only goes further. Reaching a nuclear factory,
A nuclear factory? What the fuck? They got all this stuff in hell? I just thought you burn forever in hell. They got a whole factory? They got people working, slaving in hell? What the fuck?
Reaching a nuclear factory, Godzilla's attacked by a monster made of radioactive flesh, and Godzilla is able to defeat it in a single attack. Looking out into the distance, Godzilla sees hell's nature, a hurricane of the blood on Godzilla's hands, a storm of every person he's sent to hell.
What?
The billions of people engulf Godzilla, and when he reaches—
That's disgusting. That's so disgusting. Just imagine all those people touching you at once. I'm a germaphobe and I hate when people touch me. That will make me cringe. Like, just imagine that, y'all. Ugh.
The billions of people engulf Godzilla, and when he reaches the eye of the storm, he sees a reflection, another version of himself. The Godzilla copy begins to split apart and uses its tendrils to throw Godzilla so high into the air that he can almost see the light of the surface. And when he falls, he fires his atomic breath and is thrown back once again, being pulled into the monster's mouth.
This is disgusting. This is truly disgusting. Who even sits down and thinks about drawing shit like this?
Being pulled into the monster's mouth. This is the exact opening he needed. Charging up his energy, Godzilla is swallowed by his shadow, and the light reaches full strength. Exploding with energy, Godzilla destroys the copy's body and walks away from the battle with himself as the victor. But that's when the ground begins to crack and the floor caves in once again, sending Godzilla falling into another layer of hell.
I thought you was about to say that he wasn't in hell yet, but it seems like there's different levels of hell. I didn't even know they had a hierarchy. What the fuck? Since when? I didn't know they had layers in hell.
Sending Godzilla falling into another layer of hell, Godzilla looks up and finally realizes what this is. Seeing Fire Rodent in the distance, he knows that all of his battles are the lives that he's taken, sending all of his enemies to hell and falling down to run it back. After defeating
Rematch?
Rodent in a single shot, Godzilla makes his way to where hell froze over, a void that is stated to be an abyss that contains an eternity of ice, and defeating yet another one of his previous foes. Moving further and
I see that it says Leviathan. Is that the SCP Leviathan, or is this just another Leviathan? I had no clue that he fought Leviathan in the past. Is it similar to SCP-682, or is it a whole different entity in its own?
And defeating yet another one of his previous foes. Moving further and further into hell, arriving in an ocean which is stated to be eternal and endless, Godzilla attacks yet another monster, but it runs away, but not from him. Looking up, Godzilla sees King Ghidorah, and after being thrashed around in the sea, Godzilla emerges as the winner.
Of
Going
course.
back to a time on Earth where Godzilla was fighting Space Godzilla, God helped Godzilla defeat him. Godzilla and Space Godzilla clash their atomic breath, burning hotter than the sun. And when the energy dissipates, the light engulfs the entire planet, and the core of the world is destroyed, and the entire planet followed. And when God commands
Earth? Is that on Earth? They destroy Earth with atomic blast? What the fuck? Okay, I definitely need to read more about Godzilla. I was not familiar with Godzilla's game. Y'all just told me to check this out. Who would have knew that Godzilla could destroy the Earth? Maybe y'all did, but I didn't. This is my first time hearing about this.
and the core of the world is destroyed, and the entire planet followed. And when God commands that Godzilla now serve him, Godzilla refuses, never submitting to anyone, not even God himself. Firing his atomic
The man upstairs, that's why he went to hell. He didn't follow God's command. See Godzilla, you gotta submit to someone. Everybody gotta submit to someone. Amen.
God himself. Firing his atomic breath, the impossible happens. The being that created the entire universe gets one-shotted by Godzilla.
Godzilla defeated God. Godzilla one-shotted God. This shit is fake. This is not how that, this shit is definitely fake. God is defeating anybody and everybody. I don't give a fuck how strong Godzilla is. He is not beating God with one shot. He's not beating God at all, but definitely not with one shot. Hell no. They must be talking about a different God. They ain't talking about my God.
It's one-shotted by Godzilla, making sure that he wasn't the only God that gets sent to hell.
Hold on, what? He sent God to hell? What?
Gets one-shotted by Godzilla, making sure that he wasn't the only God that gets sent to hell. Godzilla would go on to eat the angels before traveling further into hell, and after fighting both Destroyer and Ghidorah,
Wait, so he was in hell fighting God, and now he defeated God again and the angels again because they're in hell? When he destroyed the earth, he defeated God one time with one shot. Now God is in hell. Since he's in hell, he had a rematch with God, and he beat God again and ate the angels again. That's what it seems like. Let me know if I'm wrong.
Godzilla would go on to eat the angels before traveling further into hell, and after fighting both Destroyer and Ghidorah, their blasts destroy a barrier in hell, and Godzilla walks through. The ground begins to fall once again, and this is it, the bottom. Godzilla is in the final layer of hell. Rising from the rubble, Godzilla's tail destroys multiple hives of red-winged demons, and he looks up and sees a mountain, and at the top, his final challenge.
Satan?
The creator of the entire IDW multiverse, the being who forged hell, the being who made everything. Godzilla tries to fire his atomic breath, but he doesn't have enough energy and begins climbing up the mountain, but is hit by an avalanche. The demons begin to swarm around Godzilla and eat his flesh until he's nothing but bones.
What?
But that's when Godzilla possesses the demons and makes them come together to form a brand new body.
What?
And his energy returns. Firing a blast from his entire body at the mountain, the creature at the top and the top of the mountain are erased from existence, and Godzilla climbs to the top of the mountain as the strongest being alive or dead. Overall, Godzilla in Hell would scale to outer versal with irrelevant speed. And shout out to G Super who dropped 60 to sponsor this video, because in the end, when a god falls to hell, hell falls with him, defeating all of his opponents to prove he's the strongest, because the universe is a prison and this reptile is the cell. If you want to reach heaven, start by crawling out of hell. What's up, guys? It's Divine. If you guys
that was
enjoyed
fire.
this
That
video,
was fire.
make sure
I'm still confused though. Did he defeat God or did he defeat the devil? That's very confusing, but maybe I'm just slow.